Here with Ezra Levin of Indivisible, and what I'm hearing, I am very interested. You have my attention, sir. My understanding is Indivisible, which has been quite intertwined with pushing Democratic candidates, organizing around Democratic campaigns. You're some of the lead organizers for the No Kings protest, which is a record-breaking protest in American history. You're now saying you're changing directions. Talk to us about that.
Look, we have spent the last year trying to build a unified opposition to this regime. We have been trying to push Democrats to actually fight back. That started in the town halls that we held in February, March, and then we had Hands Off, and then No Kings 1 in June, and then the biggest protest in history with No Kings 2. And we're bumping up against this reality, which is that we've got a lot of great allies on Capitol Hill. Maxwell Frost, Chris Murphy, Chris Van Hollen, AOC, Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren. We got good fighters.
Jasmine Crockett.
We got our favorites. We all got our favorites, right? There are a lot of good Dems in Congress, and also it's like pulling teeth to get the majority of that caucus to actually move forward together. There are all these folks who back a Schumer strategy of roll over and play dead, of let's give in anytime there's any kind of threat to us. We've spent the last year trying to convince them with our argument, with our people in the streets to fight back, and they showed us this past week. They surrendered on the shutdown when we were winning the fight, when the public was on our side, when there was so much on the line. They surrendered. Jolly, I'm done trying to convince them. And the good news is we don't have to anymore. That's what primaries are for. We're headed into primary season. There are senators up for re-election in Minnesota or Maine or in Michigan or in Texas. Some of these are open seats. Some folks are running for re-election. Some of these senators on the Democratic side are aligned with Schumer. Some of them are not aligned with Schumer. So ask yourself, do you want more lieutenants for Schumer, or do you want Democrats who are going to fight back? When you think about who you're going to support in the House, do you want folks in the House who are going to let the subpoenas fly, who are going to hold this regime accountable immediately when we take the majority? Or do you want just Democrats who kind of go along, who don't want to ruffle feathers? I know what I want, and the time to demand it is the primaries.
I completely agree. One thing I've been concerned about is when we secure this Democratic majority in the primaries, are Democrats going to have the backbone to do anything with it? Because as much as I can't stand Republicans, as much as I know that their policies are bad, they have the backbone to implement their bigoted fascist policies. And that's one thing Democrats, as you point out, have continually failed to do. I find this exciting. It is reminiscent of what we recently seen out of David Hogg's PAC, Leaders We Deserve. This idea of primary and ineffective Democrats. I think it's important that we remind these electeds that we, the people, have the voice.
That's exactly right. And the time to do that is the primaries. Look, I think there's some people that say, but wait, it's the fascists that are the problem. Shouldn't we just focus on the fascists? Don't get me wrong. We're organizing against the regime, but there is no conflict between fighting for a Democratic Party that itself fights back, and then after the primaries are over, unifying and stomping the regime electorally all over the country. We just did that last week, Jolly. On Tuesday of last week, we stomped them in Mississippi and in Georgia and in California and in New Jersey and in New York City. You know who wasn't behind our candidate in New York City?
Schumer.
Chuck Schumer never endorsed our Democratic candidate in New York City. So again, I think we need a party that fights back. And luckily, that's what primaries are for. So what I would encourage folks to do is do not just vote blue no matter who next year in the primaries. You've got a lot of different shades of blue to choose from, a lot of different options, and we should identify the folks who are actually going to fight for the people and against this regime. And that's on the table. I am excited that we have the opportunity to remake the party and then move forward and take the majority so that on January 3rd of 2027, there's no discussion about how do we make deals with Trump, how do we start throwing trans kids and immigrants under the bus in the spirit of bipartisanship. No, we are taking them to the mat. We are going to force this regime to stop invading American cities, zip-tying children and taking them out of apartment buildings, nationalizing the guard and invading blue states with them. We can stop that, but we need a party that says, fuck that, we're not going to get behind it, we're going to actually fight back.
I completely agree. I'll end on this note. One thing I've been saying since the last election, since Trump won, was during the campaign when I was on my platform saying this guy's a fascist and he's going to bring fascism to the White House. I meant it. I believed it when I said it. And now watching what has happened since he's taken office in January, it's obvious that what I thought was going to happen was going to happen. And one thing that's been pissing me off is all the Democrats were behind that message of this is going to be fascism. And now that fascism is here, I don't see them acting with any sense of urgency to stop it.
It was amazing. Right after, so I've made the same point 1,000 times, Jolly, that we campaigned in 2024 like this guy was America's Mussolini. We did it, Schumer did it, the Democratic Party did it, and suddenly when he wins, we didn't change our position. We said, this guy's a threat. We got to fight back. And all of these Democrats say, well, let's pass the Laken-Riley bill, which helps him focus on immigrants and deport them. And let's give him that bill as his first piece of legislation signed. Let's put our differences aside and vote for his nominees for Treasury Secretary or for DOJ. It's like, what the hell are you doing? Is this guy's America's Mussolini or not? Were you serious in 2024 or weren't you? Was it all talk? Was it all bullshit? For some of them, it clearly was. And that's what we saw this past weekend. But this is where it's no longer about them, Jolly. We can point fingers at failed Democratic leadership, Schumer or otherwise. We can do that till the cows come home. That's not going to change anything. The question is, what are we going to do about it? Who are we going to get behind? Where's our attention? Where are our votes? Where's our money going to go in primary season? That's what this is about. We are going to build a Democratic Party that fights back one race at a time during the primary season. And every one of those primary victories is going to be a signal to other Democrats that they cannot continue just to back up failed leadership. Otherwise, we're coming for them too.
I appreciate what you're doing. I'm excited about it. I've been behind this push even before I heard you guys announce it. We'll keep an eye on you. We're also here to, be in unity with you. So let's keep up the fight. We got a long fight ahead of us. Off to the primaries.
Thank you, Jolly. Folks can check it out at indivisible2026.org. Let's go win this thing.
Let's do it.